Okay, today we are going to be revising the key quote, "They had better do it and decrease the surplus population." Now, this quotation was said by Scrooge in Stave 1 when the charity men came to ask him for a donation. He refused. He said that the poor may as well go to workhouses or prisons, and when told that they'd rather die than go there, he replies with this: well, if they want to die, they'd better do it and decrease the surplus population. Now, the first thing that we would want to zoom in on is the phrase "do it." Now, this statement almost feels like Scrooge is urging the poor to die, do it. And it suggests that he's got some sort of visceral desire to punish them. So, a visceral desire means like a really strong, passionate desire in his body to see the poor suffer. So, that is the first thing that we might zoom in on. And because it makes Scrooge sound cruel, doesn't it? That he is eager for the poor to die. The next thing that we would pick out is the word decrease. Now, we want to say that this is mathematical language, so, words to do with numbers. And the reason that's been used is to make the working class seem like a statistic, showing that Scrooge is dehumanizing them. Yeah, so he doesn't really see them as a person, he just sees them more as a number. And that reflects how cold hearted he is. And how he doesn't really care about the poor suffering. They're just a number to him, they're just a statistic. Then we would go into the main bit of the quote where he calls the poor the surplus population. Now, the word surplus is an adjective when something's like extra or not needed. And that's showing that he's seeing the poor as like this futile part of society. They are unnecessary. They are just the excess with no real purpose. And this is where we can see Scrooge's Malthusian principles. Okay, so remember, Malthusian principles is when you believe that poverty is inevitable, and so you may as well just allow the poor to die in order to like have enough for the rest of us. Um, so he's got Malthusian principles here because he sees the poor as like a burden. He would know, he would rather them no longer be here than actually have to support them. Now, one thing that's going to really extend your analysis here is if you remember to say that this is actually deeply ironic to suggest that the working class are like extra and unnecessary, um, because the working class are just that. They are the working class. They are a necessary workforce that ultimately lines the pockets of the rich. So if you actually think about who have we got a surplus of, we've not got a surplus of the working class. They do all the work. What we've probably got is a surplus of people like Scrooge, the rich, who just take everything for themselves and leave nothing for the rest of us. So the examiner would really like it if you are able to get in that it's deeply ironic that Scrooge believes the working class are the surplus population. And then the final thing that we would zoom in on is the word population. Referencing the poor in this way dehumanizes them even further. It makes them just sound like this big faceless mass rather than individual people. He removes any emotion from their struggles and goes against the reality of them being individuals who are suffering. This reference to population does also show just how many people there are living in poverty. Far too many, a whole population of people who are suffering. Now, this quotation can pretty much go in almost every A Christmas Carol essay because it shows the type of person that Scrooge was before his transformation. So it is going to be really useful for you to sit down and revise this one. Perhaps now pause this video, go away and try to write a paragraph about the quotation, and you can take that into your English teacher to be marked. Happy revising!